And it's time for afternoon tea. Yes, this is Tea Time indeed, an entertainment news program where we bring you the most exciting entertainment stories. I'm Tokumbo Tairo, and also in the studio are my co-anchors Lakpe Banjo and Ife Oshinkeye. Hello there.
Hi, Tex.
Hi, Tokumbo.
All right then, on today's episode, we've got scoop in no particular order on Kiss Daniel, Jennifer Lopez, Jada Pinkett Smith, to mention a few. And later on, we'll be hearing from our in-house social media analyst, Buki November. And right now, we'll dive straight into our first story, which is on Snoop Dogg. The American rapper has helped to break a Guinness World Record for the largest paradise cocktail. How very interesting. So I saw the picture and it was absolutely huge. I was like, I don't understand how on earth they could have managed it.
To get that on stage in the first place. Like.
But your initial reactions, Lakpe, what did you think about this whole story?
Well, I wasn't really surprised because I think Snoop Dogg is someone, he's a serial entrepreneur, isn't he? He's moved, kind of moved away from the music. Didn't he legalize his own like marijuana as well?
Yeah.
So I think everything that he likes, he wants to like make into a business venture, he goes for it. So I'm not really surprised. And to be fair, he is getting really old now. Like there's not much that he's got left to do. So it does make sense. And I want to see how it goes, to be honest. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And what about you?
Well, he didn't do it all by himself. He did it with some chefs.
Okay.
So that's their industry. So I believe they took charge of all of that and he just sat back and watched it happen.
But you saw the pictures, Ife, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yes, it was a huge glass, though. I still don't understand, like, how they could have planned to get the biggest glass,
Well,
and then
you were wondering about the glass. I was wondering about what was inside the glass.
I know. And he always does everything in excess as well. So like, I was definitely wondering what was in that glass. Definitely, yeah.
But you know, I was expecting him to win to beat the record of probably the longest joint or the fattest joint. That was surprising that he had to do with a glass and drinks and, you know.
But you mentioned earlier, you know, what was in it. So what was in
gin
it?
and juice. I had to find out.
Yeah, gin and juice.
What, that much gin and juice?
Exactly, that's my point.
Yeah, that's
you know,
that's like one of his 8 singles.
Yeah, gin and juice, right?
Down the street, smoking.
Sipping
on gin and juice.
I can't believe Snoopy Dogg has gotten us singing on the show. So how do you think people reacted to, or are going to react to this piece of news? How do you think
I don't think anyone's going to be that surprised because a lot of them do go into like alcohol and like drinks and food businesses anyway, especially drinks as well. Like Ciroc wasn't pioneered by P. Diddy. Bel Air was kind of sponsored by Nicki Minaj, and so I think it's natural for them to. That's like the natural progression. But in Snoop Dogg's case, I think it's not extraordinary because he always seems to find a way to create a business venture out of something that he really loves, whether it's marijuana or in this case alcohol. So yeah, no, I don't think they'll be surprised. And in America, that's the kind of thing that they do anyway. It's just
Ife, do you agree or disagree on this?
No, I do agree. But basically, I just figured it was part of the stagecraft. You get just to increase the stage presence during the show. I guess that was what that was all about. It wasn't about like the business, because what business would he probably go into?
I don't know. He could go into any kind of business, though. He's got the money to do it.
Yeah, true.
And he's got the platform.
Okay, and this isn't the only record he's broken. Something to do with his latest album, I think.
Yeah. He dropped the gospel album.
The gospel album. Has he gone?
Why is he still doing music, please? He's like 60.
Like, Snoop is a very confused person.
I think music is
in
his life.
a good way, because can you remember when he said he wanted to be called Snoop the Lion?
Oh, yes,
Snoop Exactly.
Yeah, Snoop Lion. And then he was doing
the dreadlocks.
reggae that period.
That really suited him, though.
And he dropped an album for a reggae album. Now we did gospel, and then that album is #1 on top 100.
So that's the another record thing. Yeah. So that's the record.
What, he's managed to make the top 100?
Can you imagine for a gospel?
Not top 100, I think he's #1.
all the gospel artists to
Yes,
like,
he's #1. He came straight out and just like
that's
topped
quite
the charts.
insulting.
I'm telling you, man.
But the thing is, I have to ask, I really don't know his religious stance. Has he gone all
That's why I said it's quite insulting.
Yeah, you know, that was my reaction when I saw it. I was like, is this guy mocking God?
Yeah, because it's true.
Because he actually dressed like a priest, you know, and he wore all the robes and everything.
Well, like Wizkid said, that impossible is just a word. Someone like Snoop just keeps proving such things, like anything
but not
is
when
possible,
it's like
you can do
gospel music. I think.
Final thoughts on this before we move on to our next story?
I think more power to Snoop Dogg, definitely, and I think. He's just gonna.
I wish I was there to take a sip. Though.
I know, right? I really want to
sip on gin and juice.
And how they've concocted that, I'm really looking forward to tasting it. I hope I get the chance to taste it. But yeah.
For more info on Snoop Dogg's story, we're going over now to our newsroom to hear from our social media analyst, Buki November. So, Buki, it's over to you.
Hi, Tokumbo. Okay, so I absolutely agree with Lapi. Like, he is Snoop Dogg. We expect him to be awesome. We expect him to do things like this. So yeah, I'm all for that. Okay, so online, some fans actually were so excited, were so happy about it. They went on to just sing lines from lyrics from his song, Lean Back with my mind on my money and my money, exactly that one. And some other fans actually started hinting at breaking that record. The guy just set the record. They're ready to break it already. People. Some other fans actually gave him accolades. I mean, at some point he did like the longest or the biggest joint. I don't know what word. Yeah. And now the tallest glass of gin and juice. And then some other fans actually were on the edge about what he did. I mean, they were on the other side. They said they believe he's channeling his energy in the wrong direction. Some were genuinely worried about his liver because he's growing old. But yeah, so there were mixed reactions on social media. So here are a few comments I grabbed just for you to see what people are saying online. Let's see the comments. Okay, so here's what I promise. I'm going to keep trolling comments on social media because I know that they're going to keep coming. Yeah, and I'm going to show you comments after now. But for now, that's all we've got from the media room. Back to you, Tokumbo.
All right then, Buki, thanks very much for shedding more light on the Snoop Dogg story. It's time for a quick break right now. When we return, we'll be telling you why singer Dice is making the headlines. We'll be right back.
It is not yet over. The Get to Latin Millions promo is still on. 110 people have won up to 65 million naira already, and you can be one of them, as there is 31 million naira still available to be won. You stand a chance to become a millionaire. All you have to do is walk into a Fidelity Bank near you and open an account with 10,000 naira or pay in 10,000 naira to your already existing account. And you stand a chance to win 1 million, 2 million, and 3 million naira in the monthly draw. Draw your account to 50,000 naira and stand a chance to win up to 5 million naira. That's not all. Lots of consolation prizes like refrigerators and generators to be won. Rush now to the Fidelity Bank near you and start saving for a chance to become a millionaire in the Fidelity Get a Lot in Millions promo.
We're Fidelity. We keep our word.
I don't get a lot, God you win.
Welcome back. You're watching Tea Time, the afternoon edition on Plus TV. We're moving on to our next story now, which is on Nigerian singer Dice Isles. The pop star has reportedly acquired a new crib. Well, shall I say congratulations to him? But we don't really know if he has actually acquired one or not.
I was just going to ask you, have you confirmed if he
Do you know what? I never understand why, like, in Nigeria, that when an artist buys a house or a car, it becomes like newsworthy.
Like a big deal, because we are so materialistic in this country.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But, like, he's bought a house. Like, of course he's going to buy a house because he's made money from, I'm guessing, his music. And he has, and do you know what? I actually commend him for buying a house first and not a flashy car, because at least if everything else goes wrong, he can sell off his house and have a bit of money. What they tend to do in case of like Kiss Daniel and Runtown is that they get bombarded with flashy cars that they can't finance, and then create this illusion that they've got money and they don't. So
living for the gram.
Yeah.
But you know what you were saying about, you know, having a house and everything. It's not every artist every artist in his level or at his stage, you know, that actually owns a property. So I think this is quite a big deal for him.
Maybe Otodola.
And then maybe because of his age and all of that, you know, he's quite young too. So maybe.
How old is he?
He's 26.
Oh, wow, okay.
So he has done.
Props to him, though.
Yeah.
I hope he's gone about it in the legit way.
But the truth is, we don't know if this house belongs to him because he didn't post anything about the house on the social media. It was his record label president, MI, that posted a video.
Also, he signed to Chocolate City.
Yeah, he signed to Chocolate City. So he posted a video when he was like hailing Dice, like, oh, look at his new crib and look at his cars and all
So
of
he
that.
could potentially be renting.
So it could be a rented apartment, so we don't know yet. Talk about, do you know if it's a rented apartment?
Definitely not. I was expecting you guys to like give me all the lowdown.
Why would you say you've got a house if it's rented?
He didn't say. MI posted a video.
I think he's actually got the house because if he's rented, it wouldn't be so much of a big
Wouldn't be
story.
a news story, yeah, because
Yeah.
like everyone rents. Like,
Exactly, everyone rents.
No, I could rent a new crib and Tokumbo comes to my house and is making a video. Look at Ife's new crib, and then he posts it on his social media page, and people would just assume, oh, Ife got a house.
True. Okay, I'll give you that. You've got a point, but I don't think
I
there would
always
be,
have a point, baby.
Rarely, but I don't think that they would be promoting it if he hadn't.
Yeah, I'm on this. I'm with you on this one. I think he has bought a house.
But no, I think it's good though that he's making that progression.
So like you were saying earlier, you know, I picked up on one of the points that you raised, you know, that most of them are now thinking of investing in property as opposed to buying a flashy car.
I guess it's because they're learning from all the other mistakes that all the other upcoming artists have made, where they sign contracts that they don't properly read and go through and then end up in really, really bad situations and then have nothing to fall back on. I think it was Kiss Daniel that was saying that, you know, he didn't make any money from like his first 2 years of fame when all those songs were
Daniel
coming
was
out.
getting paid like 50,000 euros.
I'm glad you guys, you know, talked about Kids Daniel. We're going to talk about him later because he's one of our stories later on in the show. So let's keep it to, what's his name now?
Dice.
Dice, yes.
So no, in answer to your question, I think they are learning. People like Dice are learning from previous mistakes of other upcoming artists. So now he's probably going to invest in something that has more return.
Okay.
The
thing is,
And
it's
there
not
was
like...
the point I wanted to raise, sorry, Ife, because when we were having this conversation, you know, do you think Dice has reached does he have a big profile or profile enough or the financial, you know, merit to actually acquire a property?
Yeah, but I think the record label, Chocolate City, is big enough. So even if he cannot afford it, he can always ask for a loan to do something reasonable and they'll give it to him.
So you think the acquisition of the property is being financed?
Yeah, and depending on what area the house is located, that matters a lot too. If it's on the island, I don't think Dice can afford that because it's not like he has so many shows he goes for. It's not like he has any endorsement, at least none that I know of. I don't know about any endorsement.
All right, then, Lakme, just one last word on this and then we'll wrap up.
I know it's becoming a lot more popular that I keep agreeing with you, so don't get used to it. But the point is, I think I agree with Ife. The location is key because he's got enough money to have a house. We can't debate over that, but it's a question of where and what it looks like. And all of that.
You saying location, and I just remembered location,
And then the
location.
Did you see the interior of the house?
No.
It looked very plain, like there was nothing extravagant and
I see.
all that. So,
okay. All right, then.
We'll let you just live on
Our
between
next story involves Gabrielle Union and Jada Pinkett Smith. Both American celebrities have opened up about their 17-year quarrel. I don't even know where to start. 17 years is a long time, isn't it?
It's a bit much, but I think they've just been silly, really, because I think Jada Pinkett admitted to her mum that it was just a bit of bad blood. There was nothing. They couldn't even remember.
Miscommunication.
Yeah, they didn't even remember. Exactly. They didn't even remember what their actual issue was. They just knew that whenever they saw each other, there was a bit of tension there. They said hi and bye. They were cordial.
Okay.
They just didn't have a relationship. And they had never been friends. So I'm surprised as to why they're kind of opening up this new, like, friendship. It's a bit random. Like, I wouldn't have put them two together, and I would have never known that they had beef anyway.
True. So do you think do we know why they said there was any kind of feud between them for the 17?
This is my point. This
like,
is
they can't even remember what
It's probably like an audition or something that they had. They went for the same audition or something.
It could just be competition. You get,
but
because they're in
it's
the
silly.
same
It's
industry,
just,
so
exactly, and they're both black and
competition,
stuff. But it's just ridiculous. Like, it just highlights a lot of problems with like bickering amongst women.
But you know, Gabrielle Union came on to
Jada's show.
Yes. So who do you think
she actually invited Gabrielle?
Jada made the phone call and gave her a call.
Right. So she reached out first.
Yeah, she reached out.
But Gabrielle was also very nice on the phone.
Okay.
And that just made her want to link up.
Yeah, but we've got to give credit to Jada because, you know, she was the one that reached out first. Gabrielle could have called, but she never did.
But you could call me and I'd be like, why are you calling me? And then we go back to it again.
A part of me thinks Gabrielle Union's got a bit of a chip on her shoulder. I don't know, it's just me speculating.
You think she's been a diva?
I think she's a bit of a diva, to be honest.
Right,
yeah, I don't know,
Why would you say so, though?
I don't know, I think I'm taking too much from being Mary Jane and just, like, imploring on her actual character, but
But I trust in your instincts. If you're saying,
I don't know her personally. I'm not like Ife. I don't know all the celebrities. So, but yeah, like I don't.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you seem to be always in their meetings and know what they've said to each other and stuff. Wow, but I don't know Gabrielle.
Like I have to meet Jay-Z later.
Okay, so like we said earlier, you know, 17 years is a long time. Who do you think is actually to blame regarding the length of time? Do you think Gabrielle or do you think Jada?
I'm going to go with Gabrielle just because I just think she's got a chip on her shoulder. But I don't know, it could be either or really. But I think the most important thing is that they've solved their whatever their beef was. But it's silly. I do have a feeling though that something might be cooking, and this might be a way of like kind of solidifying their potential like sister-mance, romance or whatever that they do in another film or something. I don't think this is like all we're going to hear from this.
All right then.
This is random.
I would blame their careers, one, because they're two very busy people. Then secondly, Will Smith and Dwayne Wade, they're friends. And then you know your wife. Yeah, they're friends. And you know your wives are not speaking to each other. So why are you guys not doing anything?
So yeah, but it must be different in that world though.
Yeah.
Like, just because our husbands are friends doesn't mean we have to be friends. And I think
yeah, but don't they do family dinners? Don't they do hangouts?
And I have to say, Yvette does have a point because Will Smith is the kind of person who actually still talks to his ex-wife. You know, so if he's handling that, and even Jada actually talks to, you know, to the mother of his first son. So I'm like,
yeah, but Will and Jada's marriage is quite weird. They're in an open marriage, so that alone is quite weird. So
no, my point being that they're open, you know, to the exes. I think he'll be open to, you know, telling at least the friend of, his friend who happens to be
like, you guys need to sort out this
exactly
issue, like.
And I think that's the kind of thing he would have. Will Smith, at least, I can't speak for all of them, but at least
if
Will
it's
Smith.
Personally, if I have to judge from their characters, I'm talking about Jada and Gabrielle, I would say Gabrielle is to blame because she looks like a proper attitude girl.
Are you just copying what I just said? Thanks.
Oh yeah, actually.
Oh dear. All right then. Still to come on Tea Time, revelations on Kiss Daniel, J-Lo and Alex Rodriguez. That's all coming up right after this break.
You know, from day one, Glow makes life easier. They brought us unbelievable data packages and even an optic fiber cable to make sure we optimize. There are two things in our lives we depend on: the communication and information, voice and data. Whether you sell, buy, learn, teach, serve, or lead, it really comes down to those two things: voice or data. Today's world is all about you. You want what you want, how you want it, and Glow delivers. That's why Glow is introducing Flexi, the freedom to use voice and data the way you like on every recharge. No plan, no hassle, easy.
Now, on every recharge, Glow Flexi automatically gives the freedom to use voice and data as you like. At the best rates in town, no plan, no hassle.
The grandmasters of data. Glow.
Well, welcome back. It's still Tea Time, and we're about to bring you the latest on Kiss Daniel. G-World, his previous record company, say they're still after him despite his name change. So, what is the bone of contention regarding these people?
The first thing I noticed, you just called him like a Yoruba boy, Kiss Daniel.
But why? I actually made an effort, actually, because you know what? If I said Kiss, it's going to be because he's changed his name from Kiss to Kiss. So I was like, I have to make the difference.
Wait, Lape has something to say.
Why has he changed his name to Kiss Daniel?
Yeah, because apparently there's...
Kiss me. Baby, can you kiss me?
You know what? The record company, seriously, guys, the record company apparently had a patent on his name, and they're saying he can't use that name that they
gave him the name.
No, I get it. I get what happened.
But why didn't he just change it completely? Or just leave it as Daniel? Let's just know you're Daniel.
Or KD or something.
Yeah,
or K Daniel.
Kiss Daniel.
No,
that's why I made the effort to actually
call it. He was actually collecting 50,000 naira per month.
Yeah, because for him to come up with this is ridiculous. But why didn't he just leave it as Kiss, as in with one S? So, like, he had so many options. Whoever did that should be fired. But yeah, he shouldn't have.
Do you think he should fire his manager then, or his PR
Well, he's got a lot of problems on his desk at the moment, doesn't he? He's got his G Worldwide. What is actually going on? Like, why do Nigerian record labels always like come back to haunt them? It boils down to
what we were saying previously when we were talking about Runtown. It's the structure, and then most of these artists just go and sign. I don't understand, like very ridiculous deals. How can you sign a deal with a record label for 7 years? And then in the space of that 7 years, you have to give them 5 albums. Like, do you see, that is like almost impossible.
Yeah, 'cause that's like
now
an
you
album
can't
every
meet
year.
up with that. Now you've dropped just 2 albums and you've been signed to them since 2013. So how can you meet up with 3 other albums before 20? When is that going to be?
But do you think that was the bone of contention? Do you think because of that he wasn't able to fulfill?
No, that wasn't the
It was the
reason.
money. He wasn't making
started
any
gaining
money.
fame after the track Would You, which was a Z track, and he was entitled to 30% of performance fee and all of that. And then he now wanted more. So they changed it a couple of times. They've been to court like 3 times to change the deal from 30 to 40, but it's still on 40. Then they changed the non-performance deal to 40% as well. So it's been back and forth, back and forth. So sometimes it's lack of exposure from this artist. They just see the opportunity and they feel like, yeah, I'm going to be a star, and they just jump at it, not thinking about the future consequences when they become big.
So do you think on that basis, right, we've had too many of these examples now, do you think that we need some sort of entertainment law or media law in this country now?
Yes,
because
we do.
Clearly a lot of people are making these mistakes.
Yes, we do.
But no one's doing anything about it, and they end up in court.
But I think someone in the industry should actually take this up, because
yeah,
it's
this
not
is a
gonna
gap in the market, guys. Exclusive. You heard it here first.
Let me ask you then, in the case, of G World versus, K Daniel, exactly, before I say that again. So in their case, who do you support? Who do you think will win?
Well, I think Kiss Daniel would win.
Will win. What about you? What do you think?
I think the record label's going to win on this one.
Okay, because the court has already thrown out one case where they said he could not perform any of the songs from the album.
Okay.
Because there's actually a clause where it says he was allowed to check the books, to check the records, financial records, and how the money he has been making for the record label. And you guys are not giving him the access now to the books. So he has every right to leave. He has grounds for leaving. He's not just saying he wants to leave just like that.
Okay, let me hear from Lakpe.
What about the other
just
case?
in like a sentence?
I literally think the record label will win because they've invested a lot more money in him. They've got more grounds for this to taking him to court. He's violated his contract in ways where it's in one way more than one.
But already you won a case against them.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's just one part. He's still in court.
There's still another case coming up.
So yeah, and I think they have the funding to take it to court.
All right then. Our final story is on J-Lo. The reports coming to us say that the superstar is impatient for Alex Rodriguez to propose to her. So why is she being impatient? Because
she's getting old and she's getting on now, and she needs to.
Yeah, but she's had 3 failed marriages. I don't understand what's going on.
You've just taken the words out of my mouth. I don't know why she's rushing him to propose.
Yeah.
She's nearly 50 and she needs to get it together. Like, she's a hot woman, she's great, she's talented, she's pretty. So I don't understand why she needs to force someone to propose. He's probably scared that she's going to break up with him 2 years down the line because she's notorious for having failed marriages, failed relationships. So there's something up with her. So if I was a guy, I would be very, very wary of J-Lo, even though she's really pretty.
And even when he was on the Jimmy Fallon show, the Tonight Show, he revealed that it doesn't have any intentions of getting married yet. Yeah.
How humiliating.
So, yes, and I think that's why J-Lo actually had to say to someone, that she thinks he's all action and all mouth and no action. Yeah,
all the gear, no idea. Yeah, he's definitely, that's rude. That's like so humiliating. I wouldn't
I don't think it's humiliating.
But you wouldn't say that. If you said that to her personally, I would understand. Like if you say to the woman, I have no plans of marrying you, I'm just good the way it is, then fine. Don't go on national television and say you're never going to marry me.
No, he didn't say he's never. He said he has no intentions of marrying yet. And when that comes up, Jimmy would be the first to know.
Do you think he's also hesitant because he has had a previous marriage as well?
Yeah, that's the reason why J-Lo claims she's not pushing for marriage, because she wants to be careful because he's had previous marriages. And
I'm glad you actually mentioned that, because I'm just thinking she's disappointed that he hasn't yet asked. Yes, she's saying she doesn't want to pressure him. So I'm thinking, isn't that ironic that, yes, you want him to propose, yet at the same time?
People are considering as J-Lo pressuring him. Like maybe they're walking past a jewelry store and she's pointing out this very beautiful ring, like, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And then people are
hinting.
Yeah, speculating that, oh, she wants the ring, she wants him to propose. So that's just what it is.
Yeah, I mean, she probably didn't even ask him that. I think she's aware that she doesn't.
And then, you know, they took the big step. They moved in together. They bought a $15-point-something million house in New York.
How long have they even been together?
I think it's been a year.
Yeah,
it's been a year. So
and they've moved in together. So that's a big step. That shows some form of commitment.
But I'm still very concerned though about J-Lo, because like I said earlier, for someone who's done it 3 times, I would have thought she would have been very wary or very careful, not want to rush into another marriage.
I suppose when you're a celebrity though, it's a lot easier to get into those kind of situations just because you're living a very different life from the average person. So she probably does want companionship. Especially
but you can have companionship without all of the legal obligations, especially in the free world.
True.
So I really don't understand.
Things we do for love. I think she's just a very soft person and she falls in love easily, and maybe.
Why didn't she fall for P. Diddy, and why didn't she want to get married to him at her time? But let's not go there.
Exactly, let's not go into that.
And that brings us to the end of the afternoon edition of Tea Time. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. But before we go, a big thank you to my co-anchors. Thank you. A big thank you as well to the entire production team. Until tomorrow, I'm Tokumbo Taiwo saying, have a lovely, lovely evening.